Right.
Would you say the military allows companies and citizens to have access to all that so they can collect data?
No, I don't believe they're collecting data on us. That's the NSA's job. NSA has got the biggest data warehouse on the planet. You want to talk about places where they got information? The NSA has the largest data center on the planet. I won't tell you where it is, but they've got it.
Can you give us a hint?
No.
Okay,
You
so
talk.
for all
You
that,
talk.
I'm Sterling. I'm Harrison. And this is Hard on the Paint by Big Country Equipment.
How did that transition as technology became more prevalent? You said internet became public use in 1995.
Yeah.
Where was the biggest technological leaps that you saw in your career, and then what was the biggest downfall to it? What was the hang up that you saw that could either been really good for humanity or really bad?
Well, so I was running. I was the core automation officer when the internet first became available for public use, and there was no plan. Nobody had a plan on how to use it because they didn't know how to use it. Right? It had been DARPANET, then ARPANET, and it was this thing used by some schools to share some information back and forth. Colleges and universities that were doing research. They've been that way since the 70s. So now it's available for commercial use. What do you do? There wasn't a plan. So I worked on the plan to get us on on a tactical side, to get us on the tactical internet. We stood up our own internet, tied it into the real internet at some control places. So we really were able to leverage technology to our use, and we ended up using that when we ended up going to war. We used that system to include voice over IP. The downfall of it is currently you still need someone that's very highly trained in setting the things up and engineering the things and operating the things and troubleshooting the things. And frankly, the biggest vulnerability you got is to people getting in and doing malicious acts or stealing information.
So not much has changed.
Not much has changed, right? The same kind of problems, just a lot more stuff out there. So there's a lot more stuff to protect, a lot more stuff can be broken into.
So Sterling and I see a lot of technological advances in our fields.
Yeah.
We see it in mostly the row crop and construction.
Okay.
For row crop, I think Sterling can kind of tie it in more towards guidance,
Okay.
because that's what you have your.
well, that's just over the last, I don't know, decade and a half. They've been able to implement guidance technology into tractors. They can do it in excavators and maintainers and dozers, and there's that kind of technology involved in equipment now, and then you see it in your personal vehicles as well. You, where we have a dash that's all a digital display and can self-driving cars and all those kind of things. So I can see how the technology has been there, but now they've been able to put it into more of our everyday lives, and then also into some industries where it's more applicable.
Have you seen, now that we see an age where we're trying to go so much automation and autonomous, from your background, do you see any negative effects?
Well, there's a lot of consequences that come about from that. For starters, we're relying on the GPS system. And most people will tell you they don't know who owns the GPS. I'm going to tell you it's the Department of Defense weapons. It's a Department of Defense system. We started building that back in the 70s. We didn't get the entire GPS satellite system up and running as full functional until 1995. We didn't have full functional capability of GPS until 1995. So we have a whole bunch of satellites up in space, 11,000 miles geosynchronous orbit, circling the planet every 12 hours, right? That are under the Department of Defense command and control. Okay, it's a military tool. Now we've all tied into it.
Right.
But if you wanted to take down a country, if you wanted to take away some capabilities of somebody, the first thing I would mess with is their military guidance system, right?
Right.
Would you say the military allows companies and citizens to have access to all that so they can collect data?
No, I don't believe they're collecting data on us. That's the NSA's job. NSA has got the biggest data warehouse on the planet. You want to talk about places where they got information? The NSA has the largest data center on the planet. I won't tell you where it is, but they've got it.
Can you give us a hint?
No.
Okay,
Utah.
so for all
Utah.
that, for all that data that they have in Utah, how much? I mean, are you familiar with servers and server sizes?
Yeah.
Server, how much data like one server can hold? You know, and so how big of a building would you need to house that many servers to collect data on
Well,
that many things?
that's what's going on. They're huge, right? So data centers, with the advent of artificial intelligence, right? The data centers are gotten huge, and everything is in the cloud. Well, what's the cloud? It's in a data center, right? It's on these computers, and these aren't typical computers. You know what a CPU is, right? A central
Right.
processing unit. Well, these don't use CPUs. They use GPUs, graphical processor units. Why? Because they're much more powerful. So they're using a ton of these graphical processor units, a ton of electricity, and a ton of water in these systems to store all this information. So part of the thing with agriculture is you're competing with water usage and power usage with these data centers. These data farms are going to eat up all our water, eat up all our power. We've already got problems with our energy system as it is. Our grid's not stable.
So if you destroyed, and I've always wondered this, because you think of the cloud, right? And it's
Yeah.
great marketing because you're
It's a cloud.
It's
fluffy.
it's
It's
somewhere
fluffy. It's fluffy.
funneling around through wires in outer
Yeah.
space, right?
Yeah, right.
And so, and they always said, you know, be careful what you put on the internet. It stays there forever.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But technically, if I destroyed the right server, would it still be there forever?
No, because it's replicated.
So it just duplicates
It's-
itself.
There's multiple copies of your data, right?
That's kind of scary.
That is scary.
And it's everything. Your car's reporting back your location. Your phone's reporting back your location. Where are your emails? Where are your messages? Right? You used to store stuff on your computer, and if your hard drive crashed, oh my, we lost everything. Now we don't store anything on the computer. We might store something on the computer, but that stuff's in the cloud. That's a huge data center someplace where this information is being maintained. And the challenge with these data centers is the power consumption is crazy. 10 square feet of space in a data center consumes more power than 50 U.S. homes.
So it's not the dinosaurs or the cows pooping. It's
That's
it's the data centers.
the data centers are taking all your water and your power, and in a place where our grid's already not quite stable,
Yeah.
right? The data centers are expected to double in the next 6 years.
Yep.
So